All right, welcome everyone back to the channel Trendline Forex here. Another live session today. Of course, it is Thursday, and this is what we do every Tuesday and Thursday every single week. So if this is your first time on this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like the stream as well. That shows me that people are actually interested in what we do over here, and it's obviously completely for free. For anyone who wants to learn how to trade and how to break down, trading setups and currency pairs and so on, this is a good place to start. All right, as I do answer pretty much all of the questions, which you can not only ask me here in the comment section on YouTube, but you can also send me your questions via DM. So I'm gonna drop a link where you can text me uh, in a couple of minutes time. Before that though, let me just send out a quick link on our free Telegram to let everybody know that we're actually live. And if you haven't joined the free Telegram yet, make sure to do so by using the link in the description below this video, just below this stream. And also don't forget to check out our website. Of course, there's a ton of free valuable content on there. um, so right here, just give me a second, I'll be done in a minute. Just a quick message. Then I'm going to drop the same message on Twitter, and we're going to carry on with some of those trading opportunities that we have at the moment. In the meantime, you guys let me know if you can hear me well, if everything is running smoothly, just to make sure uh, that whatever I say will get to you, right? So that's going to be very helpful. So just let me know, drop a thumbs up in the chat box or something. Just let me know if you can hear me well. Oops, it says 22nd of April on the date here on YouTube. So let me just change that very quick. So we do got some stuff going on here on euro dollar, on pound dollar as well. Gold is another pair where, to be honest, I actually do expect gold to potentially give me an entry during the London session. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm not sure whether this pullback will actually continue much lower. So just want to give it some time and see if we actually have some momentum to the upside. And if we do, then I may be looking for buying opportunities right away, because overall I was expecting to see a pullback once we tap into that 3,500 level. And although we do have that, I wanted to see this pullback continuing slightly lower. All right, so maybe around those levels down here. That didn't happen. At least for now, it looks like we may have a reversal, or this could be just a correction. So I'm just trying to see if this is only a retracement within this pullback, and if it is, then we're most likely going to see that continuation lower. Um, but if we start gaining momentum to the upside, then I'm not even going to be expecting any lower values than what we have right here, 3,275. Okay. So let's see how it goes. I'll drop down to the 15-minute time frame. I'm going to be following price action closely. Um, All right, I'm just gonna wait for another couple of minutes to see if anybody else is gonna join, and then I'm gonna carry on. Um, and see what we got here. But obviously, now in the title of the stream today, I've typed in bullish bias, and this is because I don't want you to go short, you know, within those pullbacks. Of course, it really depends on your strategy. So you may be a counter trend trader, and if that's the case, then that's fine. I guess you know how your risk to reward ratio works out, and what is your win percentage, and how much you should risk on each entry and stuff like that. If that's the case, then this is totally fine. Do what you gotta do. But if you're not sure what you're doing, and if you don't have a tested strategy that you know provides positive results at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, then it's not safe to go against the main trend. And this is exactly why I said in the title of this stream that I have a bullish bias for the majors, including gold, because you can see we are in an uptrend, right? So I'm just going to delete that. We are in an uptrend, so there's no point to look for selling opportunities. Okay, not only that, but we are also testing this support down here, so we could be forming a higher low. Now I actually think we may see this pullback slightly lower, because if we manage to take out this structure right here and maybe then see that reversal, this is going to be an even better setup. These are my favorite setups. This is what I'm usually looking for when I'm looking for an entry within a specific pair or instrument. But here is the 1 hour time frame. So looks like we've just taken out this previous structure, okay, and we're most likely going to come down a little bit lower. Now, even if price is pushing down, I'm not going to be looking to take a sell trade. All right, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be waiting for price to give me a confirmation for a reversal back to the upside, and I'm only going to be looking to take a buy trade. If you look at pound dollar, it's very similar what we have here as well. Now I want you to pay attention to a couple of levels here. So obviously we've got the 38.2, which is 1.3070. Okay, but not only that, we also have this previous high. Okay, so we may be looking at this setup here as a break and retest setup, and price to potentially reverse back to the upside as soon as it taps into that level. So this is pretty much what we need to pay attention to. So it's pretty much a zone, not just a single horizontal level. We're talking about a zone, and this is where we want to see the market coming into. And then as soon as we see a signal for a potential reversal, we could take advantage of that. And by the way, this is a very suitable setup for the volatility trading expert advisor, something that we launched recently, and we've had a massive interest since we shared it with the public. But the EA, this is pretty much how the EA works. You select a zone on a specific pair, and let's say in this case we are expecting for pound dollar to come into this area right around 1.31, 1.3150, and then we could expect for price to actually reverse. So we can set up the EA to start loading buy positions within this space right here. Okay, and so even if the market does not actually complete our analysis, but let's say it kind of slows down within this area and it starts trading sideways, you are generating profit because you basically take advantage of a very small movement. And this is how the expert advisor helps. Um, Anyways, obviously we're not here to talk about that only. I just wanted to mention that because we had a ton of questions of how exactly the expert advisor works. But what you need to know is that we now have a completely free course on our website on how to use the volatility trading expert advisor. Like I said, it's a completely free course. So before you decide to do anything, I would suggest go over to services, advanced. You then go and pick volatility trading system, click on see more, and then you just have to register and you will have access to all those videos right here. So you just click on the video, watch, but as you can see, all the information that you need is covered within this course completely for free. FAQ questions. So basically, the questions that we get asked the most about how the expert advisor works and how you can take advantage of that. We get those questions all the time from so many people that we've actually decided to record these in videos and add it to the course content. So you will find the most frequently asked questions right here in this section within the course. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just quickly going to drop a link right here in the chat box, so you can click on that. All you have to do is to register on our website, and then you will get a full access to the volatility trading system course. But anyways, so this is what we're going to be looking for on euro dollar and pound dollar. Like I said, I actually think we're going to see a continuation of the pullback here. Okay, and when I'm talking about the pullback, I'm talking about this move from up here down to around 1.13. So let's see if we get another push to the downside, where eventually I want to see price breaking below this level, and this is the level around 1.1260 roughly. The same thing with pound dollar, like I said. So we are going to be waiting for price and see whether we're going to have another drop. But now, what about gold? Now, if I have to be honest, I actually think we're going to see a continuation of the pullback here on gold also. But then you look at the 4-hour time frame, okay, and you see that we took out this previous structure, okay. So all those stop losses sitting below this most recent low have now been taken out with this bearish leg. Not only that, but we then have a pretty strong 4-hour momentum candle. All right, so that's quite important. Now, I was going to be certain that we're most likely going to see a continuation of the pullback if we didn't have this bullish candle, the 4-hour candle. But as you can see, we kind of got some momentum after we broke below this previous structure. So I want to see whether we're actually going to see something like this and price going back bearish. And if that happens, then that most likely means we're going to break below this most recent low. But if instead of that, we actually see something like this and price gaining momentum, well, obviously we're going to be looking for that continuation higher, okay? Because even though I feel like gold needs to make a pullback at some point, this is not necessarily true, all right? Just because I think something should happen or may happen, it doesn't mean it will happen. So we have to trade what we see, not what we think is going to happen, all right? So we wait for the market, see what the market gives us, and that's what we work with, all right? Not with whatever our beliefs are, because this is essentially not going to make you money in this business. If you trade based on what you expect is going to happen, then you're basically gambling, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you think that makes sense. But this is pretty much how I see things. Anyways, what else do we have? Let me just hear if okay, yes, I've got, I do have sound. Um, Let me pull the mic a little bit closer. I think the audio maybe even more clear. But yeah, then we have the yen cross pairs. Now, in this case specifically, I think what's more important than the yen cross pairs may be dollar yen. So I don't usually trade dollar yen, but this is the idea, and this is something that we talked about in the premium Telegram channel, by the way, about 2 hours ago. I'm expecting to see a continuation of this pullback for a little bit longer, but then we have the 61.8 level, 146.50, and we're also approaching the 38.2 level, which is 144. So anywhere within this area is where I'm expecting to see the market reacting and eventually going back to the downside. Okay, so again, a perfect setup for the volatility trading expert advisor. All you have to do is to set up the level, or basically the zone where you expect for the market to do something. And then in this case, we're expecting for the market to continue this pullback a little bit longer, okay, a little bit far up. And then I actually think we're going to see that bearish continuation. Why? Because if you zoom the chart out, you will see that we are in a bearish trend. As simple as that. So we're just waiting. Since we have a pullback, we're just looking at the levels where we could potentially see this pullback ending. And in this case, again, this is the 38.2, 61.8 levels right within this area right here. Okay. Now what you can do is you can use the volatility trading expert advisor, set it up to start selling within this area. So all you need is that the market pushes within this area, and even if it starts trading sideways, it doesn't even have to go bearish. You're still going to be generating profit. You can literally set it up to enter trades on every 1 pip and exit those trades on every 2 pips. All right, so as long as it gives you volatility, or basically, you know, the market is moving, well, then that means you're entering positions and then closing those positions on every 2 pips. You enter each trade on every 1 pip move, and then you close that trade on every 2 pips move. So as long as the market is trading sideways, you are going to be generating profit, right? Again, if it doesn't make sense to you, or if it is difficult for you to understand what is the idea and how the expert advisor actually works, I think it's best for you to either watch the free course, or I also uploaded a webinar that we did on the volatility trading system. It's on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch it. It's about a 50-minute long video, I believe, 45, 50 minutes, but it's going to show you in detail how the expert advisor works. Anyways, now back to manual trading, all right? Basically what we do in those live sessions. And by the way, let me know in the comment section down below if you think I should do a live session with the expert advisor and show you how it works. But yes, I'm expecting to see UJ coming into this area and then giving us that reaction for, again, a bearish continuation. Now, if this happens, then that most likely means we can then switch over to Euro Yen and Pound Yen, whatever that on UJ happens, because right now it's early to look for entries. Now, why? Because I'm essentially expecting for the market to continue higher here as well, and then at some point to give us that reversal. But remember, we are talking about the 4-hour time frames, and for now, we're only interested into taking trades on the lower time frames, okay? Or at least I am, because if I find a good setup, I may let you know during the live session, right? But anyways, even if I give it a longer term view, this is still going to be beneficial for you, because at least you know what to expect from those pairs. And you know, if you're not a part of our premium Telegram channel, then there's no way you can, you know this stuff. Maybe if you do have a lot of experience following price action, watching the market, trading live accounts and stuff like that, yes, of course. But I assume you may not be watching this stream if you have that much experience, right? So if you are wondering what kind of trades to look for, this is it. I'm giving you the market direction on those instruments, right? So when you look at the 1-hour time frame, let's say this is GJ, I'm expecting to see price a little bit higher, and then at some point, whenever we get that reversal on UJ, on USD JPY, then that means we're probably going to see that reversal on Pound JPY or Euro Yen. Okay, so keep that in mind. But if I have to be honest, I actually think we're going to see. I think we may have an entry during the London session here on gold, just because even though I feel like this pullback should continue a little bit lower, to be honest, it is gold, so you can expect anything at any time, really. Here is the 15-minute time frame. Okay, the first 15-minute time frame of the London session, pretty bullish. Okay, so let's see how it goes. We're going to give it a bit more time, and we could potentially have something to work with. I just quickly need to get a glass of water because my mouth is literally dry as a desert because of me talking for the last like what 10-20 minutes. So I'm just gonna grab a glass of water very quick. But I am observing price action here on gold. I want to see whether. So let me drag up the Fibonacci retracement. I'm just going to select this area right here from the 61.8 to the 38.2, and I want to see how price is going to react. Now we've already got a reaction off of that area. So if we have to look for an entry here, now anything at this point will be considered a risky trade. I just want you to know that. So do not take this as an entry signal. Okay, so I'm just thinking out loud, and I know I say this on every live session, but this is the truth. You shouldn't be looking at those live sessions and be waiting for an entry signal. This is not what the idea is. All right. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer, but I'm not going to be giving you any entry signals or anything like this. Okay, you must have your own strategy, or even if you decide to use somebody else's strategy, you must back test it, right? Or forward test it. If back testing is too boring for you, as it is for me, what I like to do is I like to forward test. So you take a strategy, you give yourself, really depends on the strategy, but you give yourself 1 to 3 months, and then you can trade it on demo in live market every single day. You don't have to back test it. And it's much better to actually forward test than back test because you actually go through the emotions and you know what you can expect, all right? But anyways, all right, coming back in literally a minute. What else do we have apart from gold? So it looks like we're getting some momentum here on euro dollar as well. That probably means some pound dollar also. And by the way, when it comes to euro dollar and pound dollar specifically, I actually think pound dollar will have more strength, so it will be performing better than euro dollar. And I'm telling you this because you can use this information in your overall analysis. So I don't know what or how many pairs you trade, but when you know that pound dollar will be outperforming euro dollar, well, then that relates to, let's say, pound yen and euro yen, or pound Aussie and euro Aussie. So keep that in mind, right? I want you to learn how to actually analyze and think as a trader. So this is what I've said many times, in our free Telegram channel, okay, we share a daily update on euro dollar only. Okay, now I occasionally drop a video here and there where we talk about other trading opportunities, especially in our email list. Every single Monday we send out an email with potential trading opportunities for the week ahead, and we include other pairs, not just euro dollar. But if you join the free Telegram channel, you will see that on a daily basis we share a euro dollar update. And a lot of people are asking about other instruments. But if you know what correlation is and how correlation works, positive and negative correlation, you will know how to use the daily analysis that we drop on euro dollar, how to use it in your overall analysis, and how to apply, the idea behind euro dollar with another pair. Okay, so just imagine that euro dollar is a major instrument, probably the most traded instrument. Okay, so it is traded against the US dollar. So whatever happens on euro dollar could translate to, let's say, pound dollar or Aussie dollar, right? So this is the way that you should use this information, okay? And it is very beneficial. Whoever knows how to use the information is definitely happy with what we send, even just in the free Telegram channel. Now, obviously, the premium Telegram is different. As you can see, this is section 1 right here. This is my full watch list for the premium Telegram channel. So we also talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, obviously gold, but other instruments as well. If I pull that up, you can actually see what kind of pairs we have here, okay? But by the way, let me know what kind of instruments are you looking at, and do you currently have any setups, any trades? And if you don't mind, you can also share a screenshot with us, okay? So I'm going to pull it up on the screen and we're going to go over your trading idea. Now, in order to do that, you can actually text me, and right here I'm going to drop a link in the chat box. So let's see, the 1 hour time frame does not look good so far. And there's still a lot of time, about 35 minutes until the 1 hour candle closes. A lot of things could happen till then, so that's why we're gonna drop down to a lower time frame to just follow price action, see how it goes. But 30-minute candle is closing in about 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes actually. So let's see. Obviously, if we see a push to the downside, that probably means we're going to be looking for a downside continuation. Okay. Now, do we have the 38.2 level right here? Yep, this is exactly the 38.2 level. So it will tell us a lot if the market actually creates a lower high and continues lower. All right, if that happens, then that probably means we're going to see price breaking below this structure right here and continuing lower. So here it is, something else to keep in mind. Okay. And by the way, something else, there's not a lot of movement in the economic calendar this week. So we may be looking at, you know, not so much of not an active market, but we're probably not going to see any major movements. Okay. So I'm not going to be surprised if today and tomorrow, even if we move, we don't actually create any significant structure, if that makes sense. Right, and if that's the case, then, and if you don't have a good trading opportunity, a really nice setup that aligns with your trading plan, then just do not take a trade. It is as simple as that. Because trust me, a lot of people are actually going to be profitable traders if they can actually sit on their hands and not pull the trigger whenever they don't have a good setup, good enough setup. right? Sometimes you have a good setup, but you know it is actually outside of your trading plan, but you still take the trade. Now, if if you can't manage your emotions, and if you can't build up that discipline to um, you know, not trade when you're not supposed to, well, then you're always going to end up as a losing trader. So hopefully that helps. I mean, it's a pretty basic advice, but you will be surprised how many of those basic rules people overstep and just ignore. What else? We also have the yen cross pairs where, as I already shared, I do have a trading setup, but it's on the higher time frames. So if we drop down to, let's say, the 15-minute chart, I expect to see a bullish continuation. So there is maybe a chance to find a long setup, but this is going to be a very aggressive trade. All right. So if you are going to be taking advantage of this opportunity, just use a smaller lot size, please, and move your stops to break even as soon as you can. But I think God is probably the one that makes the most sense now to give it a try. And now, obviously, if I'm looking at this setup, and if we're looking at the higher time frames, let's say I'm expecting to see a continuation of the pullback for a little bit longer. Now, but at the same time, I don't want to take a trade against the main trend. So the best thing to do is to actually stay away from the charts. Now, if I still feel like, price could actually go bullish, go to the upside, I can still give it a try and enter a trade using smaller lot size, okay? Having the right setup, using a smaller lot size, stop loss right here. As soon as we break above this structure right here, which is the most recent high, let's say price comes up here, I immediately move my stop loss to break even, okay? Now, if I get taken out, I wait and see if there is another confirmation for exactly the same entry, and if there is, I will pull the trigger again. Now what happens though, if I enter a trade, place my stop loss down here, I expect to see price breaking above that, but instead of that, price takes me out. Well then, that probably means I didn't get the right entry, right? And in this case, I would wait, okay, because that probably means we're going to see that continuation lower, which was my original idea from the higher time frames. Now, losing positions are inevitable. There's always going to be losing positions. There's not a single trader out there who does not lose a trade, okay? So this is not the problem. The problem is when you cannot manage your capital. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say you would usually enter your A plus setup or your entry setup with 1% risk. Now, whenever you have setups like this, where not everything is right about the setup, but it still feels like it's a good idea to give it a try, well, then you can give it a try with a 0.5% risk, right? So half the risk on this trade, okay? And again, trying to move your stop loss to break even as soon as you can. Okay, so we're always looking for price to break above or below previous structure, and that basically confirms our idea, right? It looks like we were right. As soon as the market breaks above this high, well then we're probably going to see a continuation even higher. So why not move your stop to break even, and you're now risk free, because we've now broken above the previous structure. If the market manages to come all the way back down to your entry, well, it's probably best to exit this trade, okay? So that's why that's how you manage your trades, and that's how you manage your capital as well. And by the way, there's ton of different ways to do that. I'm just giving you literally probably the most basic one, but sometimes basic works best. Okay, I'm just one of those traders who is a maniac when it comes to basic strategies and stuff like this, because I know that it works, right? Anybody who says support and resistance is outdated and it does not work nowadays, stuff like that, doesn't know anything about trading. Trust me, support and resistance still works perfectly fine. What doesn't work is when you don't know how to calculate your risk, is when you don't use stop loss, or is when you overtrade. This is why your strategy doesn't work. It's not because the strategy is not good enough. Trust me, a bad strategy could turn out to be a profitable one if you just know how to manage your positions and how to manage your risk. But yeah, I went on a little run here, but it's fine. Now, a little confirmation in this case would be the 5-minute time frame if we manage to break above this high, okay? Because we can then switch over to the 15-minute chart, and if that happens, we would have price closing above this 15-minute momentum candle right here, okay? So this is something that we could potentially take advantage of. But overall, don't forget that, I mean, the 1 hour time frame does not look bullish. If this 1 hour candle closes like this with a long rejection wick to the upside, well then it just doesn't look bullish. It looks like there is not enough strength, not enough momentum to push the market higher. All right. So the 4 hour candle is kind of looks like an indecision candle for now. All right. There's still a lot of time till that 4 hour candle closes. Before that, it's got to be the 1 hour that we want to wait for. Um, What about you guys? Do you currently look at gold or any other pair at all? I'd love to check out some of your setups as well. It's gonna be helpful for other traders who are watching the stream also. Oh, interesting. The euro dollar is kind of stronger this morning than pound dollar. So let's see, we just took out this high. Now price is trying to go back to the upside to eventually reach higher levels, but let's see how it does. Because as soon as we took out this previous high, there was immediate reaction right here. Going back to gold. All right, 15-minute candle about to close. Pretty decent for a potential upside move, to be honest. So let's check out the 15-minute candles here on pound dollar and euro dollar. All right, what do we got? Gold still reacting around this area, not yet gaining momentum, which is not great, but let's see how it goes. It's only the first hour of the London session, and even though I'm doing those live sessions during the first hour only, doesn't mean that if I don't get the entry in the first hour, I won't be entering if I get that confirmation that I need later on. Okay. So whatever kind of setups I comment on and I share with you during those live sessions, if we don't get the entry during the live session itself, it's fine. You can still get the entry a little bit later. That's absolutely fine. It is also still not late to get a signal in the opposite direction. So as you can see, from the beginning of the session, we have had some bullish price action here on euro dollar and pound dollar. But overall, don't forget that when it comes to the higher time frames, I actually want to see the market taking those lows out. So if we do something like this and then we get that reversal, that would be perfect. I really don't like when I see, equal highs or equal lows. And I've said it many times, but I know that there are many stop loss orders below or above those equal highs and lows. Okay, so if you look at the euro dollar, you know, you look at a price action, you see this low, you also see this low, and every time price reaches that level right here, around 1.1310 in this case, comes down here to that level, it then pushes back to the upside. All right, we have another move towards the previous lows, exactly the same level. So we again push off of that level. So what does that mean? It means that at those levels, we have buyers entering the market. Okay, so where do they place their stop losses? Well, most likely down here below their entries. So if we know there is a stop loss, multiple stop loss orders down here, well then the market is most likely going to take them out to gather momentum for the next move. Okay, I literally just explained my strategy. I mean, very quickly and obviously not in such detail, but this is pretty much what I'm looking for every single time. I think it was the last live session that I did where somebody asked me what is my strategy and if I have one. And what I said was that whoever follows those live sessions and also have watched my other videos on YouTube and is also following the free Telegram channel, you're basically going to learn exactly how I trade and you're going to have a strategy for yourself. Okay, and then imagine, for example, if you go through the mentorship, it's a 12-month mentorship program. You get over 15 courses, more than 15 courses, right? In every one of those courses you will get, a few strategies, not just one strategy but a few. So at the end of the year you're going to end up with, having to pick from more than 30 strategies, okay, roughly. And of course throughout that 1 year we also do, um, we can also do live calls if it's needed, whatever. Okay, so just imagine from all the free information that I share with you guys, how much value you're going to get in the mentorship program. And if you are interested, you can go over to our website, trendlineforex.com. There is a mentorship button, which is, where is it? Right here, mentoring button. So, everything that's included in the program is, it's explained right here on that page. Okay, so check it out if you are interested. Okay. So we still see some bullish momentum here on the majors, not that much on gold, but overall we are still moving up. We do have a bullish impulse here on the yen cross pairs as well, just as expected, even though I'm not looking for entry specifically here on euro yen or pound yen. But as you can see, price is currently pushing up. And like I said, this is most likely because we are expecting the same thing on dollar yen. And then at some point, we should see that reversal. So that's probably going to happen here on the yen cross pairs also. Okay, so the way you can use this information is, for example, if you have, let's say, a long trade here on euro yen and you don't know whether you should keep it open because we are approaching resistance, well, then you can give it a try. Now, if we had a bit of a stronger move here on gold, say for example, similar to euro dollar and pound dollar, at least a little bit more momentum right here, I would be most definitely looking for potential buying opportunities. But for now, even though it looks like we are nicely reacting off of this area right here, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to continue higher, right? Now, especially looking at the 15-minute time frame, there's still a minute. If this kind of continues pushing down, then we're going to be looking at a rejection wick right here, right next to this previous candle. So we couldn't really manage to close above that. So we got to give it a bit more time, see how it goes. But I think pretty soon I'm going to be ending this session. So hopefully the information you got in the last 1 hour kind of helped you. Um, I think we not only talked about those setups that we currently have here on those instruments, but also about trading in general. So hopefully that was some good insights for you guys. All right, pretty decent continuation here on euro dollar and pound dollar. Now this is what I mean. You know, this is only the 15-minute time frame, and yes, we do see some continuation to the upside. But if let's say you manage to catch an entry down here or anywhere right here, you now have a bit of a movement to the upside. So you've got to decide, since you are trading on the lower time frames, and we are currently in a retracement on the higher time frames, we may easily see price reversing. So when would it make sense for you to move your stop loss to break even? You see, because at the same time, you don't want to move your stop loss too early. You know, you can get stopped out and then price to continue in your favor. So you then switch over to, let's say, the 1 hour time frame, and you basically got taken out within one single candle, which it's never a good thing, you know. At the end of the day, you managed to find a good setup. You was right about the market direction, so you could have made profit, but instead of that, you got out of break even. Okay, so you must have this rule in your plan. When do you move your stop loss to break even? Is it as soon as price breaks above or below previous structure, or do you have to wait for kind of a more major high or low to be broken and then you move your stop loss? Okay. And again, something else. If let's say you've made your entry right here, you moved your stop loss to break even. So now your stop loss is down here at your entry level. So let's say price comes down, takes you out a break even, but it then gives you another confirmation for an entry. Would you take this trade? Right? That's a good question, right? So you must have all those rules included in your trading plan. And obviously you have to stick to them, because just having rules is not enough. You must have the discipline to stick to those rules as well. And this is how you consistently execute the same strategy over and over again. You collect data, and at the end of the quarter, let's say, you go through that data. If you have positive results, that's amazing. You have a winning strategy. If not, then you have to find what works and what doesn't work. So you have to find the patterns in your trading. You know, this is something that we can definitely help with in our mentorship program. It's a 12-month program, so obviously a lot to be learned, a lot of progress to be made throughout those 12 months. So think about it, you know. Okay, so what about the 1 hour candles? Okay, so pretty bullish 1 hour candle here on euro dollar. That's great. Same thing on pound dollar. Not so much of a bullish candle on gold though. All right, so we can easily see this pullback continuing lower. Okay, you know, and then we have euro yen and pound yen with also some bullish candles, but still, you know, pretty much trading within a range. Okay, so nothing much has changed here with those 1 hour candles, you know, specifically here on the yen cross pairs. So listen, I think I'm gonna end the session right here. You guys make sure to subscribe to this channel. The next live session will be on Tuesday next week, and then again, of course, another one on Thursday. Not only that, but there is more content coming out. Don't forget to check out the rest of our social media profiles. And most importantly, I would say join the free Telegram channel. There is a link below this stream, below this video if you're not watching live. But join the free Telegram channel. Every time we do a giveaway, we do a promotion, we have a huge discount or whatever it is, you know, the first people that we send notifications to are our free Telegram members. Of course, premium Telegram members would know about all those updates in advance, but also I would say it's very beneficial for those of you, especially if you're in the beginning of your trading journey. Okay, joining the free Telegram channel will definitely help you a lot. And I'm always here for you. If you guys have any questions in that free Telegram channel, you will see you know, a button where you can text me in a private chat. So whatever kind of questions you have, I'm more than happy to try and help you out. All right, so keep that in mind as well, and take advantage of that. Not everybody is willing to you know, give away some of their free time to help you out, but I don't mind. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next session. And until then, make sure to trade smart, trade wise. If you don't have good setups, just sit on your hands and wait for a good setup. It is as simple as that. Do that for the next 3 to 6 months, and I promise you, your trading will get better. And if you're not doing well in the lower time frames, just switch over to a higher time frame. Okay, I'm telling you, it's very simple. You just have to kind of follow the basic rules and you're going to be absolutely fine. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one, and take care, everybody.